Alright, second cut. I think I forgot to show the artwork for one book, and it was kind of unorganized. So, two books, I'll show them right away. First one up is Scurry by Mac Smith, a book I really enjoyed and already highly recommend. Both of these are library had them. I liked them so much, or they were significant enough to where I wanted to own them myself. The next one is it was significant enough to where I wanted to own it myself, and that is Outpost Zero: The Complete Collection, written by Sean Kelly McKeever and drawn by Alexandre Tefenki. Here's his name, because I know I'm botching that last name. Alexandra. So I'll show you the artwork for both before I forget, and then I'll talk a little bit about each book. Here's the artwork for Scurry. Which Scurry on Kindle, you can either get this for $11.99 or 4 parts that make up this book, I believe, for $9, for $9.99 each. It's like, what is so? It doesn't make any sense. And no, I don't think they already made 3 sequels afterwards. I think it's just the fact that well, it was a webcomic, so maybe, I hate to say it, maybe like with Lore Olympus, the issues, like the webcomic comes out first, and then they come out with the Scurry. But I don't think so. There's end sort of a cliffhanger, but it's still like I don't know. Now, Scurry, from what I know, I've not seen Secret of NIMH, but it still has that, like, it's rodents, and it still has that adventure feel, like classic adventure feel. And I think someone else made a comparison to Secret of NIMH, who had actually seen The Secret of NIMH. So there you go. But very good book, and one that anyone can read. It's just, it's really intense. Like, it's a surprisingly intense book for kids. Like, without giving too much away, it explores the story of itself, and the story is very different from, I imagine it's very different from Secret of NIMH. But the story of the book, you think it would shy away from explaining certain points of why the characters are this and why the world is this way, but they don't. And I was very surprised about that first time I read it. Very good book. I highly recommend Scurry. However, Outpost Zero I don't recommend as much. Now, why did I own this? Why did the library own it? Now I own it for this one. Well, I was going through Sean Kelly McKeever's, it's Sean McKeever, I don't know why it says Kelly, because Sean McKeever is the actual name. And I was going through his, not filmography, but his bibliography on Amazon, going through all the comics he had written. And one of them was X-Men Origins Phoenix. And back when I was collecting floppies, I think going so far back as when I was to the original comic book store I was telling you guys about that I went to, before I stopped going to it because they had the stupid no refund policy, which I don't think any comic store these days should have. People make mistakes. People buy books for their nephews who are comic fans and don't realize the nephew already had the comic, or isn't interested in that character, or whatever the hell. And to say, no, you can't do refunds is extremely dumb. It's not just someone trying to give back a book, which I would never do this, I don't condone this, giving it back for bogus reasons, because they already read the book, and they didn't like the book, and they give it back, and then they get the money back, and they can buy another book, and then no. That's not obviously something I would condone, but, and I know people can abuse the policy, but then don't, then have, like, a policy that makes it so they can't return 5,000 things for bogus reasons. They have to have a good reason. Like, Newbury Comics had a nice return policy. I didn't like it too much because I did return one book for not a bogus reason, but anyways, but they should have a return policy. But anyways, probably going so far back as then, I had read X-Men Origins Phoenix. I got the Marvel True Believers reprint. It was $1. And I loved that book. That was so damn good. I almost bought the complete collection because of that one issue. But then when I found out that it wasn't more Phoenix, I was like, oh, maybe not. But I think I read the Origins Wolverine one too, and I really liked it. And both are written by Sean McKeever. I really like those. So I'm thinking maybe this one I just had too high hopes for, because Near My Condition really liked it. And no, I did not know who Sean McKeever was before I read this the first time. Now I do, but before I did not. So I didn't have that same expectation back then. But now I'm like, you know what? Let's give this another chance, and you know what? Let's own it. Let's get both these books, both these Skybound comic books at the same time. Here's the artwork for Outpost there. I know I already showed it. This one does collect issues, though. It's 1 through 14. Now, this one seems to be This is like a digest size. It was originally in trade paperback size, which is bigger than this. Not too much, but just like kind of like an oversized hardcover, an omnibus compared to a paperback. That's the difference. It's like maybe an inch or two, maybe not even 2 inches, I would say. But 2 books. Now I'm not gonna get more Skybound comic books. The only ones I'm gonna get is Clementine, and that's not gonna be till December. But I have too many other Image books to get to worry about Skybound comic books. Maybe I will later down the line if I have a few extra dollars to spend. But there you go. And reason why it was only 2 books and not like a bunch more is because I just had a little bit extra money to spend. I was able to spend. That was why. It happened last month too. I showed off Silver Coin and Deadliest Bouquet, and then back in May when I showed off Genius Volumes 1 and 2. I'm gonna try, like with Genius Volume 2, 1 and 2, and for these books, I'm gonna try to do the ones that I've read before, because I like doing that. When I have that few extra dollars to spend, kind of thing. But yeah, Scurvy and Outpost Zero. And that was all I had to mention. I think that was it. Yeah, it's a book. Sean Conley McKeever. Phoenix book I really liked. I read, and I wanted to own it again because of that reason. Scurvy, Max Smith, the webcomic 1 through 4, trade paperbacks, weird thing. It seems to be on Kindle, but it's an ebook version. They wouldn't even let me get a free sample. They wouldn't even let me look inside. I don't know about free sample, but I mean every Kindle book has a free sample. But they let you look inside right on the web page itself without having to download a free sample. And they weren't let me doing that. They wouldn't let me do that for Scurvy. It was volume 2. It was a weird thing. It was like I'm almost positive that it's just like the 4 parts that are collected in here. I don't think it's a Lore Olympus thing where it's just because the webcomic is exceeding past what's collected in here. I think this is all of Scurvy. I hope, because it's a good book. But anyways, that, as I said, is that. As I said, that, as I say, is that. And one is, this one, actually, one thing, this one's older teens. This is like 14 and up, and this one's 8 and up. But honestly, I think Scurvy is more mature than this is. I have to say, not that Scurvy should not be 8+, no, or that Outpost Zero should be 8+, no. There's a lot more language in Outpost Zero than there is in Scurvy. Scurvy would get like a PG for language and intense scenes, scary action, like that kind of thing. And this one would get a PG-13 for language and some like action, but a later PG-13. But that, as I say, is that.